This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your me, Louie T? Welcome. You are here on lockdown coverage, Week 5 edition. New England Patriots taking on the Cleveland Browns. This was a very anticipated game for one reason and one reason alone. The return of Tom Terrific, TB12, Tom Brady, in his season debut, fresh off of his 4-game suspension. This is a Patriots team that went 3-1 over that stretch, but everyone said that Brady was going to be rusty, that Brady was going to have to come back and make an adjustment. And there were a lot of people, too, out there that felt like, look, it's the Browns. There's no adjustment necessary. This is the perfect warm-up game. To me, this was the ideal game to come back against. They have Cincinnati next week. Don't want to come back against them. Not saying that Cincinnati's all that great right now either, but would have posed a lot bigger threat than the lowly, woeful Cleveland Browns. So it was the perfect game for Tom Brady to come back against. And thought he looked good. We'll talk about this in a second because this wasn't a competitive game. You know, I handle non-competitive contests a little bit different than I do the competitive ones. So we'll get to that in a second. But first and foremost, if you're new to this channel, welcome to the Louie Tee Network. Subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. Also on Twitter. @In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle, as you can see above. Also, I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. On Twitter, follow me. On Facebook, like the page. And on YouTube, Louie Tee Network, subscribe. That being said, let's break this thing down. And you know how I like to do ass whoopings, man. Come on now. We handle those a lot differently than we do competitive football games. When it's an ass whooping, I like to take a look from afar. So it's essentially what I saw from afar. So what we're going to do is take a look at this game, and I'm going to tell you what I saw from afar. Now, start with the road team, Patriots, in this game. Brady was sharp, and we didn't really know what to expect. I felt like there might be a little bit of rust that he'd need to knock off. Maybe he'd miss a deep throw or two that he normally would hit. The underneath stuff that Brady is the master at, that he's surgical at, I didn't expect him to miss those, and he didn't. You know, the underneaths to Edelman and to Amendola and the crossing routes to the tight ends, those things, Brady can hit those in his sleep, okay? Wasn't expecting him to miss those. But those deep shots down the field to Chris Hogan, the deep shot down the field to Bennett, I thought he might miss one of those. He didn't miss them in this game. And the one to Bennett down the sideline for that last touchdown, thought he underthrew that one. You know, later on in the season, that's one that Bennett will be able to catch in stride and not even have to stop and wait on the football. But that being said, he threw some dimes in this football game to Brady, and there was no residual effect from the suspension. And poor Cleveland Browns, they're now 0-5. We'll talk about the Browns here in a second. But next thing I saw from afar, Belichick's brilliance. We've talked about it all season long due to the suspension of Brady and how Belichick has managed to navigate the schedule and get to 3-1 without Brady. You saw more of his brilliance in this game. And the thing I love about Bill Belichick, say what you want about him, call him what you want. The guy is a mastermind because if it was this easy, everyone would be doing it. But other teams around the league seem to struggle with a simple concept of taking away what the other team does well. Look, if you're going to beat me doing something that you don't customarily do, something that you don't excel at. You're not going to beat me doing the one thing that I go into the game knowing that you do well. The Browns run the football. They're one of the best rushing teams. And if I'm not mistaken, going into Week 5, they were the top rushing team in the National Football League. So what does Bill Belichick do? He says, Isaiah Crowell's not running football today. 12 carries, 20 yards, and I believe he likes his name pronounced Kroll. Oh, if that's what your name is, that's what you want to be called, then you're Isaiah Kroll. Either way, 12 carries, 20 yards for a guy that's been gashing teams over the last month of the season. I'd say that the scouting report was out on the Browns, and it doesn't help that when your fourth quarterback of the season, who also happens to be a rookie, and Cody Kessler goes down to an injury, it doesn't help that Charlie Whiteshoes has to come in the game, and that really takes away any threat of the pass. But nonetheless, who's your best receiver? Terrell Pryor, that's the only thing you got? Well, guess what? In the red zone, we're going to put a safety over the top. And they did that. Now, it ultimately cost them on that first touchdown pass to Andrew Hawkins, but that was a statement made. If you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me with somebody else. It's going to be Andrew Hawkins. It's going to be one of these rookie receivers, whether it's Lewis or the other guy you got from Colorado State. You're going to beat me with one of these other guys, one of these other bums. You're not going to beat me with Terrell Pryor. We've seen what he's capable of. You're not going to beat us with Isaiah Kroll on the ground. We've seen what he's capable of. Find another way to win. And the Browns aren't good enough to do that right now. There's more brilliance from Bill Belichick. The defense. This is the part of the team that I don't think gets enough credit. And going into the season, I had a bunch of questions, and a lot of Patriots fans basically said, you'll see. We've got stuff. You may not be familiar with all the stuff and the things that we're brewing up on the defensive side of the football, but we've got stuff. Because my biggest question was, how are you going to get pressure on the quarterback? Who's going to do that? They generate pressure. They stop the run. They force turnovers. This is an aggressive Patriots defense, and I don't think they're getting enough credit. And they're going and they're flying under the radar right now. Someone asked me last week during the Louie Tee Network, the Louie Tee Live program on Wednesday night, what was my top 3 defenses in the league? And I said Broncos, Vikings, of course. I said, and the Patriots. Patriots are in there. Patriots and the Eagles, to me, are your top 4 defenses in the league. And I don't think a lot of people are giving the Patriots enough credit for what they're doing defensively. They're playing some outstanding football defensively this season, and I don't think they're getting enough credit for what they've done defensively this year. Don't worry. Teams will realize how good the Patriots are defensively eventually. Cyrus Jones gets ejected in this game. Look, you're a youngin', you're a rookie. That's one thing that the Patriots don't stand for, is guys acting out and costing the team. I didn't get to see exactly what happened because as the camera shot was starting to show us what he did, all he did was retaliate. He got blocked. It wasn't a malicious block or anything of the sort. He just took offense to it, slammed the guy down on the ground, and then started to do something else. I missed it. The camera angle moved out of vision of what happened, so I didn't get to really see it, but I saw him starting to go off a little bit. Got to be smarter than that, man. Come on, dude. Stephen Gostkowski misses again. Look, he's going to miss a critical field goal this year. I'm convinced. I'm not sure if he's the kicker he used to be. And I'm not sure that he's going to be a New England Patriot for much longer if he continues to miss field goals. Missed a field goal right before half. And this game could have been 30-some to 7 at halftime. 36. Patriots failed on a 4th and goal down inside the 5. They missed the field goal right before the half. Gostkowski missed. He's starting to miss a bunch of kicks, and I'm telling you right now, you're able to overlook them because it's not costing you a ball game, but at some point this season, in a critical spot, he's going to miss a field goal that's going to cost you a game, and then his struggles this season are going to start to really come to light. I'm not sold on Stephen Gostkowski the way I used to be. I got my eye on him. I'm watching him very, very closely. This offense has a chance to be really prolific this year. I think Brady has the best targets he's had in New England since the 2007 season, when we know about the historical run they had that year, undefeated to the Super Bowl, losing to the Giants with Randy Moss and Wes Welker and company. I don't know if he's had a better group of receivers, skill players, since then till now. I'm looking at this team. If they can stay healthy offensively, Martellus Bennett and Gronkowski. Is it me, or did Gronk all of a sudden look healthy in week 5? I mean, this was a guy that could have been named Frank Gronkowski for all I care the first couple of weeks of the season because he wasn't healthy. He wasn't moving around. He wasn't getting the football. That's for damn sure, even if he was somewhat healthy. And then I actually read and heard a report that Patriots were worried that this guy wasn't really healthy and that he might have to sit down for a little while. And I don't know who reported that, but he looked anything but injured in this game. He was outstanding. Maybe he was just waiting for Brady to come back. Like, all these goddamn quarterbacks, I'll just wait for Tom to come back. I'm not wasting my time. I don't know what it was, but he looked in rare form with Tom Brady back on the field. It's like magically he just healed up overnight. And now that Tom Brady's back, so is Gronk. But that two tight end set has a chance to be lethal once again. Remember what it used to look like with Hernandez and Gronk. Now you got Martellus Bennett and Gronk. And I think it's even more dangerous now because you got two guys that actually block in the run game and can catch the football and make things happen. You saw what Martellus Bennett brings to the table, 3 touchdown grabs in this game. We saw Gronk breaking tackles and being the Gronk of old. It's only a matter of time before he starts getting in the end zone again. Then you got Edelman. Then you got Amendola. Now you saw Chris Hogan, 4 catches, a buck 14, some deep balls. Brady's going to exploit him and use him in the passing game. And you still have a guy like Malcolm Mitchell who's coming along as a young pup who I think is going to be someone down the line that's going to continue to contribute. And then you still haven't gotten some guys back from injury, mainly your running back that can really change the game out of the backfield. So these weapons that Brady has at his disposal, not to mention LeGarrette Blount running the football, this is a dangerous offense. If they can remain healthy, look out for this Patriots offense. That's my last takeaway from the Patriots in this game is that they're just scratching the surface offensively with Brady coming back after the suspension. This is a scary proposition for teams around the league if this Patriots offense can find a way to stay relatively healthy. With the Browns, the first thing I realized is this is their last relevant game of the season. Okay, there won't be another game on the schedule for the Cleveland Browns that will matter in terms of relevance, that anyone will actually care about other than Cleveland Browns fans and the team that they're playing against. Those are going to be the only 2 fan bases that will have any interest in what the Browns do the remainder of this season because there's no other game on the schedule that commands attention, even though they probably have a primetime game coming to them on a Thursday night at some point in the season. Nobody cares. This was the last one. And the only reason anybody gave a damn about this one was because of Brady. Nothing that had to do with the Browns, simply because of Brady and his first game back. Now the rest of the season is going to be played in relative irrelevance in Cleveland. They got to find a way to win. And I'm going to tell you right now, your best opportunity to get a W up in the left-hand column comes next week. If you don't win next week, I don't know when you're going to win a game this season. I don't know what your quarterback situation looks like. I don't know if Cody Kessler is going to come back. I don't know if Josh McCown is ready to come back. I don't know if Robert Griffin III is ready to come back. I don't know what your quarterback situation looks like. I'm just here to tell you, you are at Tennessee next week. If you don't beat the Titans next week, I don't know when you're going to get a win. I know you usually beat Cincinnati once every year. I don't know, and the Cincinnati Bengals don't look that good right now, but I don't know when you're going to get a win if you can't beat Tennessee next week. This is going to be the best opportunity that you're going to have to win a game this season. Do you play? Yeah, I don't think you play that entire AFC South division. I think you just play the Tennessee Titans because both of you finished last in your respective divisions last season. You need to get that one. And I don't know who's playing quarterback. It doesn't matter at this point. Use Terrell Pryor as an option quarterback. Do whatever you must. You got to find a way to win against Tennessee next week. Get off the schneid. You're now 0-5 on the season. And finally, this Cleveland Browns team is snake bitten. It's a shame because they've been through 5 quarterbacks in 5 weeks of football. I mean, that is lunacy. It seems like every week someone else is getting in there at the quarterback position, and this is ridiculous now. And at this point, they just can't seem to stay healthy on either side of the football. You need to get your stuff back, man. I mean, Terrell Pryor is out there trying his hardest, but he needs help. They are hurting right now on the offensive side of the football. They're struggling. Could only muster 13 in this game. It's going to be a long season for the Browns. Hopefully they can get a win because, again, no one wants to be on win watch come week 12, 13 of the season. Can the Browns win a game? There's nothing like being an 0 and whatever team. Don't get to double digits and still not have a win, okay? Let's not get to 0 and 10. That's when it starts to get into the danger zone. Find a way to beat somebody. Get on the board. Tennessee next week. At Tennessee. Find a way to get that one. Scheme it up, Hugh. Find a way to get a win versus the Tennessee Titans next week. You got to be able to run the football. That's your bread and butter right now. Weren't able to do it in this game. Gonna have to find a way to do it next week if you want to beat the Tennessee Titans. Look, that's gonna do it for a lockdown coverage. New England Patriots, Cleveland Browns. Brady comes back. He's sharp, doesn't miss a beat, throws for over 400 yards, carves up the Browns defense en route to a 33-13 victory. Browns drop their 5th straight to start the season, lose another quarterback, and look to be in dire straits. Got a game at Tennessee next week. For the Browns, to me, it's a must-win game because if you don't, I do not know when that win will come. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. Patriots go to 4-1 on the season with the victory. Browns drop to 0-5 and remain the only winless team in the National Football League in 2016. I will see you next time. Got plenty more games to break down. You know how Mondays go here in the lab room on the Louie Tee Network. I'll be right back, man. I got Texans. I got Vikings. I got Dolphins. I got Titans. I got more content to come, man. I'll see you a little bit later on. Have a good one.